Hello guys, it's your fellow investor here with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Healthier Choices Management Corp with ticker symbol HCMC. This is my follow-up video on my yesterday's previous video about HCMC, where I went more in depth about the company itself. In this video, I'll be going more into Philip Morris, their lawsuits, their SEC filings, and how it is related to HCMC, and how is it actually a good news and very positive outcome for HCMC, whatever Philip Morris will do in the future. So if you are interested in that, what does it mean for HCMC and where I see this stock going in the next weeks and months, definitely keep on watching this video. But before I begin, I'd love to ask if you could click on the beautiful red subscribe button. There are still 85% people not subscribed, and I post daily videos related stock content. And if you could smash that like button, I would highly appreciate it, and it costs absolutely nothing. With that being said, let's get into the news. So as I said in the start, today I'm not going to be talking about specifically about HCMC, but about events related to HCMC. Therefore, if you are more interested in the core of this company and stuff like that, watch my previous videos. Now let's get into the more juicy information. We are going to head straight into the SEC files, and we're going to look into Philip Morris SEC files to be exact. And what immediately caught my attention is on March 5th, there's a notification filed by National Security Exchange to report the removal from listing and registration of matured, redeemed or retired securities. And if we click on that, we can see that it almost seems like the New York Stock Exchange wants Philip Morris to, become delisted. And, it almost seems like wow, we just won? No, unfortunately that's not the case. Even though it seems like they really want to get rid of them, what does it exactly mean is that the delisting, which can be found here in the SEC filings, is just a standard operating procedure. It was for loans or warrants, and that was just paid off this week and got delisted. This has nothing to do with HCMC and nothing bad happening to Philip Morris yet. And yet is the important word. Julian Saunders, thank you for reminding us. But it's still, it almost looks like they're going to delist Philip Morris because of some matured or retired securities, but it's not happening. It's most of these SEC filings around Philip Morris are just routines. It is nothing really exciting, sadly for us. But they're still selling some shares, maybe a little bit more than usual. Now you might be interested in that. There's been other lawsuits happening around Philip Morris. There are other companies, tobacco companies or just cigarette companies, which are suing Philip Morris. The companies are BAT or British American Tobacco, and Vossius, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. But they fan of Philip Morris suit over heat-not-burn cigarettes, and they had this case happening in Germany, and as a result, Philip Morris withdrew its application for preliminary injunction from the regional court Munich. But its bid will only really gain momentum in Europe this year. So we can see Philip Morris is being almost like sandwiched from all the sides. There are multiple companies suing them because he's illegally or just his infringement, he's using patents they don't just have rights to use. And if we go just through this article, there's a lot of good information related to Philip Morris and their sales with this heat-not-burn cigarettes, also known as IQOSs, and I would really recommend you checking it out because you could find more information which might help you, get your image, and see where exactly is most likely the current going to head. And related to this lawsuit, there's a very good article from Reddit, let's call it even due diligence, because this person seriously thought about it, and I just have to give it a go in this video. So he took a stroll through the patents that PM holds and the outstanding ITC case with BAT. It occurred to me that none of the granted US patents that PM holds cover anything like the heating mechanism of the IQOS product that PM is marketing through Altria. This mechanism is at the core of the HCMC claim and the BAT claim. In theory, and based on my limited understanding of the patent law, if PM licensed the HCMC patent, that would effectively render the BAT claim moot. They acknowledge the similarity with the HCMC design, settle and license the patent, and BAT is left mouth agape, essentially settling both claims by partnering with the little guy and rather asking injunction and losing all of the income from US sales. So therefore we could see potentially not acquiring HCMC but making a very lucrative deal for HCMC from Philip Morris. And I think this could really seriously be happening, because if you think about it, it's very logical solution. But again, we could be totally wrong, and HCMC would like to maybe go all the way and just get the money and almost embarrass PM on the big playing field in the e-cigarette sector and just be the true winner. I'm sure their CEO has it all well thought through because of his 25 years of law experience. And here I'd just like to compare Philip Morris and HCMC lawsuit to Intel and VLSI technology patent lawsuit. It's very similar, and it happened just on March 2nd, so it popped up in my feed. And what was this patent lawsuit about? Well, it's about patent infringement, and what the case is that VLSI took 2 patents off the shelf that hadn't been used for 10 years and said, we'd like $2 billion. The outrageous demand by VLSI would tax the true innovators, the Intel. But even though Intel didn't know, they claim they didn't know the patent exists, it is their fault that they haven't done their own due diligence. It's just like when you don't do your own due diligence on your companies that you invest in, and then something happens which could have been seen from mile ways, but you didn't do your full due diligence, you didn't keep up to date with the company. That's how it can end, you know, for you few thousand, few $100, for big companies few $1 billion. Here Intel has to pay $2 billion to some very unknown company without any revenue just because they are using their patents. And Intel thought they can easily defend themselves, but it seems like they lost this one, and I could see very much happening the same scenario with HCMC and Philip Morris. But I have to say that Philip Morris is more used to the lawsuit, so they probably have some prepared strategies already, and they're thinking about what will hurt them the least. And as per usual, here we have HCMC security details. We can see the market cap is $425 million, and then restricted amount of shares dated at 1st of March are 258 billion shares. And on StockTwits, if we have a look from yesterday, there's been few hundred new people, so we can see the community keeps growing even throughout the weekend, and we can see there are new messages. The community is very alive, and people are just most likely nowadays spamming not very helpful information. They're just hyping it up, but sometimes there are some very good information, but you have to dig deep and you have to be very patient. But if you aren't patient, you won't be getting big gains, and I think there's a longer game in this scenario. That was my take. It was my follow-up video to my previous one. I hope this gave you a little bit of insight about what we should expect from Philip Morris and HCMC lawsuit, where I see it going and stuff like that. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes. So again, do your own due diligence before you invest in any of named companies in this video or any other video. I hope I brought you some value. If I did, definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos, as well as smashing the like button really helps me out, and it's absolutely for free. Also, let me know down in the comments below what are your thoughts and opinions. Do you think Philip Morris will give HCMC offer that they won't be able to refuse? Do you think HCMC will just demolish Philip Morris in the lawsuit? Let me know. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.